What's the action?
To show which coordinate. There we go.
Alright, Sydney's gonna explain how she did the bell ringer. Let's pay close attention so that way we know if we did it correctly.
Well, you're reflecting off the x-axis, and so the roll is a negative b, so you switch signs, you're a b coordinate, and so for a you get 2, -4, b you get -2, 5, and c you get -6, -7.
Thank you. Nick, tell us, do you agree or disagree?
I agree now. I had something different than I wanted to do.
Okay, so,
I swapped the x-axis at first. Like I changed the sign to x-axis.
oh, so you're thinking x-axis will change x. Yes, that's a big, a very common mistake, even one that I usually want to tend to do. So I always think, always do the opposite. Kind of like whenever you're drawing a line that says x = 3, you always draw it vertical, because I'm thinking, oh, it's horizontal. And I'm like, no, it's opposite, it's vertical. All right, good job. What questions do you have on the bell ringer? Okay. All right, you go ahead and put your bell ringer away. You need to get out your notes from yesterday.
This 2 minutes marble or?
Really, it just depends. They have a lot of different information on there. For instance, sports is on there, popular culture is on there, English, literature, there's spelling, there's math, there's history, civil rights stuff. I mean, there's just all kinds of information. And it's really good to have like somebody from each variety. Like it's really good to have somebody on your team that's really good at math, and then they could suck at everything else, but they're really good at math, and so they can answer all the math questions. And then it's good to have someone that's really good with literature, that knows all the books and all the authors. And it's good to have someone that knows everything about history. And it's really good to have someone that knows everything about sports and like popular culture. Like there's just, there's something for pretty much everybody. Because everybody has something that they're interested in and really good at. A lot of people think that, it's only academics, only like math. And a lot of people think it's a lot of math, but it's really not.
How many people are on the Scrabble team?
Altogether, 12.
Are you allowed to answer the questions?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I can't even talk during the match. I have to sit back away behind them so they can't see me.
That must stink if you know the answer and you can't say anything.
Yeah, it stinks for the students that that I have sitting out, and like I have one that's really good at sports. Well, if he's been in half and I need to put somebody else in, and then they finally ask a sports question, it kind of stinks. I wish we could see them ahead of time so that way I could prepare who I wanted in at what time.
Wait, how many can you have in at one time?
4.
So you have 3 rotations of 4?
We have varsity and junior varsity. So I have like 8 on varsity and 4 on JV.
Oh. I don't think I'd be good at that.
Yeah. It really has to do with how good are you at trivia. Because there's some people that are super, super smart and can
Is
do
it like
any
Jeopardy
single topic.
almost?
Yes, it's just like Jeopardy.
Sometimes trivia is just luck, though.
Yes, it just depends on what kind of questions get asked.
How do people on Jeopardy study those questions?
You
Because
study as much topics as you can.
That's crazy, because it asks really specific questions.
Mm-hmm. You just gotta look for keywords that they ask for. All right, did I get all the way through with teacher model?
Yeah, we're on directed.
Okay, so we're on this one. All right, so we're gonna do this one together. This one says graph triangle JKL with vertices J30, K43, and L60. Rotate the triangle 90 degrees about the origin. So over there in that space, where I left it blank, you need to put 90 degrees. So that way, whenever you're going back and looking at your work, you'll know which rotation that one's for. So that's 90 degrees. Alright, so first thing you wanna do is graph the original one. Okay, so I need to graph the coordinates 3, 0 for J. Which axis is 3, 0 gonna be on, the X or the Y? Yeah, the X, so it's gonna be right there. So J is gonna be right there on the X axis. What about K, 4, 3? Would I go to the left, the right, and then up or down?
Go right and up.
Okay, so to the right 4 and up 3, that's K. And then what about L, 6, 0? Is that on the X axis or the Y?
Yes, X to go over 6 and flat point.
Perfect. And then we just draw that triangle. Alright, so next thing I need, it says it's 90-degree rotation. Well, there's a rule for 90-degree rotation. What exactly is that rule? Negative B comma A. Okay, so what this means is change the sign of, Brett, tell me what that means, negative BA. Tell me what to do there.
Flip the coordinates and then change the sign.
Yeah, flip the coordinates and change the sign. Now this means change the sign of B. Well, right now B's in the back, and I like to change my sign first. Well, negative 0, does that really do anything to it?
No.
No, so we just leave it as 0. Make that 3 and negative 3, and then again this 0 stays the same. Okay. Now I need to flip them. Now that I've changed the signs on my Y's, now let's flip it. So first let's do J prime. Okay. Taylor, what would be the new coordinates of J prime?
0, 3.
Perfect, 0, 3. Maddie, what about K prime?
Negative 3, 4.
And Grace, what about L prime?
0, 6.
Alright, y'all did awesome, perfect. Alright, so now I need to graph these points. So first I graph 0, 3. Would that be on the x-axis or the y?
1.
So right there's J prime. And then K prime would be to the left 3 and up 4. And then L prime is 0, 6. So that would also be on the y-axis. And there's your 90-degree rotation. Okay? So pretty much what you want to picture is that you just picked up this coordinate plane and you rotated it 90 degrees this way. And if you were to do that, the triangle would now be facing west. It was facing north, now it's facing west. Okay. All right, before we move on, what questions do you have for me?
I'm going to get my rules mixed up with the other ones.
Yes. On a quiz, or like on your quiz, I'll have the rules on this one. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to do your test. I'm not sure if I'm just going to let you write the rules on a note card or if I'm just going to put the rules on your test. Because there's a lot of rules and it does get confusing. Whenever it's just reflections, I do okay. And when it's just rotations, I do okay. But when it's both of them together, it can get really confusing. All right, this one's a guided practice. This is one you're going to do with your partner. So first I need you to fill in the part that says rotate the triangle 90 degrees about the origin. And then if you would please turn your desk to face your partner and work this one out together. Work this one out together. Alright, so this is what this one should look like when you're finished. The red ABC triangle is my pre-image. A prime, B prime, C prime is my image. Alright, so now you're going to try this one. And you need to make sure you fill in the 180 degrees. Alright, this is what that one should look like. It pretty much should just look like that it, turned around backwards. It's flipped upside down. Anytime it's 180, it's just going to be completely, facing the other direction. Alright, what questions do you have for me before you try the next one on your own? Alright, so the the next one you're gonna need to fill in, you're gonna do on your own. You're gonna need to fill it in first, that way you'll know what the number is. It says graph quadrilateral JKLM and rotate it 180 degrees about the origin. So the first one's 180 degrees. Alright, so try this one on your own. Alright, so there's what your image should look like when you're finished. Notice how JK was on top, segment JK, and then now J prime, K prime's on the bottom. So you pretty much, it gets turned upside down. Okay. Alright, so here's the last one. You're going to try this one on your own. Remember, you need to fill in that number up there at the top. It is 270 degree rotation. Notice this is also a quadrilateral. Did you change the sign of A? So this becoming negative A. So now you, and this is this from where you flipped them already? Okay, so just go through and change the sign of all of these. Alright, I've got my coordinates written down, so if you would like to check your coordinates to make sure they're right, you can go ahead. Q prime, you should have gotten negative 3, 6. R prime should be 0, 5. S prime should be 0, 3. And T prime should be negative 3, 1. There you go. And that's what it should look like. Alright, so that would be a 270 degree rotation. Notice it started at the 180 axis, and then there's 1, 2, 3, and it ended up here. So that's 270 degrees. Alright, what questions do you have for me on rotations? Alright, I believe this is page number 22 in our notes. 21 or 22? 22. Alright, so in 22, page 22, it should say 5.3 rotations. I know on your paper it says 4.3, but it should actually say 5.3 rotations. So fill out your table of contents, but don't put your notes away because you're going to want to use them for your student journal assignment. Alright, and for your student journal assignment, so that should be page 22, 5.3 rotations. And then for your student journal, if you would please turn to page 105. 105. Alright, so if you look on page 105 at the top, they have the rules listed for you right there. So you also have the rules there to follow. And then you also have all of the examples that we did on our notes. And then down here at the bottom, the only problems you're going to do are numbers 1, 2, and 3. So only do numbers 1, 2, and 3. Now, the difficult thing with this is they counted by twos and they didn't give you the ordered pairs. So what we're going to do is go through here and write down what these ordered pairs are, just to help us. All right, so J, they're counting by twos, and I could tell that because this is 4, so that has to be 2. So J would be -2, +4. So I'm just going to write that over to the side. And then K, what would be the coordinates of K if it's in the middle of 1? What would that be right here?
5.
Yeah, that -5. And just to help, I'm going to put these marks in the middle to help me number these. So that way it looks like they're counting by 1s rather than 2s. Okay, so K would be -5, and then that would be +1. Okay. L, what would be the X value for L, for the X coordinate?
2.
Yep, -2. And then what about the Y coordinate?
-2, -2.
Perfect. And then we have M. What would be the coordinates for M?
1, 1.
Perfect, 1, 1. Okay, so those are the coordinates for J, K, L, and M. And then you could do your new coordinates on this side or down below it because we're not doing these down here at the bottom. Okay. What about number 2? Let me go ahead and mark these because they're counting by 2s. Like I said, if you want to do that, that's completely okay. So that way it doesn't confuse you as much. All right, so R, if I count over, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, -4. And 0. S would be -1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1, +5. And T would be 1, 2, 3, 4, -5, +1. Okay. And then number 3. A would be +1, +4. B would be 1, 2, 3, +4, +3. C would be 1, 2, +3, +1. And D would be +1, +2. All right, so that is your assignment. Now you just need to do your rotations and plot your new graphs. Like I said, if you have trouble with counting by 2s, you are welcome to do, change it to where it counts by 1s. And then if you don't finish these 3 problems, it'll be homework due when the tardy bell rings tomorrow.